Good morning, everybody. Welcome to a extra edition of NHRA Pro Mod via Reaction Time Media with the one, the only, the GOAT, Mr. Rickie Smith. Good morning, Rickie, and thanks so much for your time this morning.
Morning, Brett. Appreciate you having me on.
Mate, you blew the world up last night. You've blown the internet up this morning, and you blew my phone up and said, hey, I want to get on here and talk to a few of these people. So I'm going to pretty much leave the platform to you, but in our little chat this morning, basically you were talking about you want everyone to know exactly why. I mean, I was sitting here like the rest of the world watching NHRA.tv with my wife, Nicole, and Rickie comes up, makes a solo. We couldn't work that out. Then Sammy sings the national anthem. Then apparently the race starts. Then they described that you had opted not to participate in the D-Wagon Shootout. And then Bobby spoke to you, obviously, overnight, put out his story. And the haters are going to hate. And, mate, communication is key. All we want to know is what the hell is going on with Rickie Smith Racing. You already had enough on your plate, mate. You spoke to me during the week. You had the Camaro shipped up to Minnesota, to Brainerd, after the Mustang wasn't playing the game last week. And, mate, you already had enough going on. What are you doing?
Well, like you say, Brett, if anybody thinks that I don't support drag racing or don't support this class, they're plumb out in left field. They don't even know. They shouldn't even be watching drag racing, okay, if that's what they think about me. Because I've been out here a long time and supported NHRA since 1990, IHRA before that. And the first thing people got to realize is when I tell you something, you can bury your mom in the grave with it. You can go to the bank with it. I'm going to do that.
Okay.
And I don't know what it takes for whether the racer or NHRA or whatever. When I tell you something, that's what I believe, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to vary from it. So here's the deal with this deal going on. For 2 months now, at least, we have advertised that this is a schedule. This is the way this race will be run, okay? And the ladder will be like this if it's 16 or if it's a 12, whatever. Yep. So we've told the public this is what we're going to do, all right? First thing I want to say is we have these meetings a couple times a year. And I say the racers, about the 12 guys really that involved in now. You know, it's about 12 or 15 of us show up and we have a couple meetings at the racetrack. So we're always talking about, or they are always talking about how great this Pro Mod class is. This is the greatest Pro Mod class out there, bar none. PDRL, MNCA, whatever, all that they want to say. They keep talking that we're the best. And just remember what I'm saying. They keep saying we're the top of the line. We raise all this money. We got more money than anybody else out here. Purses, championships, all that. And I agree with that, 100%. All right. Then they want to sit here and say, well, we got the premier racetracks. We got NHRA. I agree with that. We got the premier safety department. I agree with that. We got thousands of people in the stands watching us race. I agree with that. We're the best of the best. That's what they're saying. So if this is true, either quit trying, or not true, quit trying to fool yourself and let's get down to earth and try to make this thing better if it ain't better. But they want to believe that they're the best there is out here, and we got the best facilities, which we do. But yet here we're going to pop up, and the NHRA makes these rule changes on us, race to race or whatever, and they're bitching, and we all bitch about that. But yet we're going to turn around our own organization and make a rule change the day of the race. The day of it. I'm not bitching about D-Wagon put more money in the program. Great for that. But let's figure out how to get this guy some more exposure and not change what we've all agreed to do. That's what I'm saying. You know, don't change that.
Rickie, you beat me to it.
Draw numbers out. You want to act like grudge racers. You want to act like street outlaw racers. Well, if we're the best of the best, why we got to back up and act like a bunch of street outlaw racers or grudge racers? Why are we doing this? Why do you double talk? This is what I'm pissed off about. And the public don't understand why I get so mad, because they're not in these meetings. I get tired of this stuff being double talked about, and you turn around and come out and you make you act like you're blah, blah, blah in front of the public and want to make me look like bad. No, I'm tired of it, and I'm not going to put up with it no more, and I ain't this year. I'm going to tell the public what's going on. And if you don't like it, then don't listen to it. But I'm trying to tell you, the public out there, what is the truth and what is going on with this little organization we got over here. So if we're going to get more cars, how would you like to pull 1,200 miles up here? You know this is who you're going to run. You know the format. You know all this is what's going to happen, okay? You spend the money to come up here. I spent $3,700 to bring my second car up here because I was fighting the Ford. And you tell me I ain't trying to support this deal. Oh, and then they turn around and change the rules, and they have a meeting. Now get this. My dog got sick, and anybody knows anything about me, that dog means more to me than freaking about anything in the world, all right? My dog got sick Wednesday night, and I finally got an appointment with a vet up here at 10:40 Friday morning. So they have this meeting down there, and I ain't even here. They all agreed on what to do, and I'm not even here. And from what most of the time, if you have $1 million race, let's say, well, you get down to 4 cars, all right? And the guys is doing it, said, okay, we're going to split the money, all right? 3 of them can't agree on it without the 4th. You got to have 100% agree on to change the process to respect the racer. They changed the process here and didn't have 100%. So that right there showed me how much they respect me. But yet they want me to turn around and respect them. Bull crap.
Now, Rickie, no one, I don't believe anyone would deny your passion for NHRA, for Pro Mod, for drag racing. It is what puts food on your plate. You did drag the Camaro up at your own expense. People will argue, well, that's his problem. He couldn't get his Mustang sorted, so he's got to do what he's got to do. No one held a gun to his head. You did preempt me there with, you know, it's awesome that D-Wagon have put up initially, I think it was $25,000, and then with this chip draw, they threw in another $10,000 to sweeten the pot. When we spoke this morning, I said to you, mate, we've got to move with the times. We've got to get excited. You're a professional drag racer. You put food on your table by racing a motor car. The only way you can do that is if there are bums on seats, people in the stands, fans paying their hard-earned dollars. So is it not an exciting thing to do a chip draw? Is it not an exciting thing to have a little bit of razzmatazz showmanship? I understand your principle of, hang on a minute, we've been bitching about the rule changes, now we changed it 2 hours before. So there are both halves. I can understand that. But we certainly can't deny that D-Wagon and Steiner are doing an amazing, amazing job helping promote the class and make it a financially viable class for racers like yourself.
Absolutely. Like I say, I'm not got anything against D-Walt or D-Wagon bringing in more money to the class. But we should have sat down and figured out how to make this work and not change what we've advertised for 2 months. Drag Illustrated had done put the lineup on their program, okay? People have done start putting this out here. People know who they run, all right? So why all of a sudden, and I can't prove nothing, all right? Why all of a sudden you come back, all these guys come back and say, well, no, this ain't this and this ain't that, this ain't that. But put the shoe on your foot. Why all of a sudden after it showed, they showed this Wednesday, I think, the lineup of how we were going to run. Well, there's a bunch of teammates had to run each other. Well, it wasn't but 3 or 4 hours after that, or 2 or 3 hours after this all come out, this guy decides to come up with more money, and we're going to do the chip draw. Huh? I mean, think about it the way I look at it, you know. Don't just look at it your way. Look at it both ways. You know, why did you all of a sudden why didn't you do this last week? Why didn't you do this a month ago? Why don't you better prepare for what you're going to do than making last minute decisions about the way we're racing over here? How do you expect to get more racers to show up when you're going to make a stupid move like this and expect more racers to show up when they don't even know what's going to happen when they get there? They may show up and say, oh, well, we're not going to do this today. We're going to qualify backwards, or we're going to not have 3 runs. We're going to have 2 runs, or blah, blah, this. I mean, guys, really? Really? I mean, how do you expect people to come and support this class when they don't even know what's going to happen when they get here?
Now, Rickie, I don't think anyone is going to disrespect you for standing for your beliefs, and you've put the money behind you over your integrity based on what you believe is true. You've copped plenty of hate this morning on the internet from the keyboard warriors. What are your other fellow racers saying to you? What's the mood after you said, look, you know, I wasn't involved in the meeting. I'm standing down. My morals say this isn't right, so I can only vote with my feet or my car. What have your fellow racers had to say to you today?
First of all, you want to talk about the haters, all right? I don't care what they think, because the ones that hate are not my fans anyway. And first of all, they've never done this. They don't have a clue what it is to make a living with a race car 40-some years. Not a clue. So they're all keyboard jockeys that want to get out there and say something when they couldn't race one of these cars to bet their life on it. So I'm not worried about that. Let them talk. And the racers, they come. I go out there first round of qualifying, and I'm second. Me and Thorne lay down numbers, okay? I'm second of the session. Got most of the field covered 500s. And a lot of them didn't even get down. All right? So JR comes over here, and that's who I got to run the way they done the deal to, the field pulling. He comes over here, and Justin Bond come to the back of my trailer. We'll stand back there talking. And both of them tried to talk me into coming on out there and racing. Oh, JR said, come on, I want to race you. You know, we're going to race. Come on and be with us, and blah, blah, this and blah, blah, that. And I looked at both of them again. Just because I don't care if I went out there and outrun the field of 10. That had nothing. It's just like the money. That had nothing to do with what I'm doing. I am doing exactly what I promised you I'd do, what I give you my word I'd do, and that's what I'm doing. I'm not running the deal. So don't come over here and try to talk me out of it or make me a liar, because if I went back out there and decided to run, well, now the haters are going to say, well, damn, he figured out he could run fast and he's got the field covered pretty good, so now he's going to race. No, people, that's not who I am. You can take my word, you can believe it, or you can keep talking junk, and you can keep hating me. But when I tell you something and you deal with the people that I've dealt with, whether it's people who I've helped on their cars, or whether major sponsors, or whether it was chassis builder, whether it's Jerry Haas or Jerry Bickle or whoever, anybody I've had business dealings with, when Rickie Smith tells you something, you can go ahead and start, and you can bank on it. And that's what I go off of, is my word out here.
Well, mate, you certainly have done that. You've stood up to your word. You've used integrity, and you have said that this is what you're going to do, and you're doing it. I'm not saying you're right. I'm not saying you're wrong. I do respect the integrity of, you've made a decision, whether it's right, wrong, or indifferent, you're sticking to it. And I think that's all you can ask from anybody. So today you're going to be in qualifying, but not in the shootout. You're focused on taking home that wally at the end of the day.
Yeah, I'm basically sure I want to win the race. Don't get me wrong. But I'm basically trying to figure out what's wrong with this car so I can fix it when I get home. And I think I have. I really think I've figured out what's going on with it, and that's the reason I'm sticking with the Ford. I think I've improved it some, but I cannot fix it till I get home. And once I get home, I think I can fix the problem on it and make it more like my Camaro and get the thing where I can rely on it. Right now, yesterday, I pointed the car a little bit right. I'm still kind of scared of the car going left, and it went just as straight as I had it pointed. And you know, it kind of told me I'd done some stuff in the right way, and the car was going naturally straight, and it was just a touch going right, and it kind of got out there and rattled the tire right at the top of low gear. And just about the time the lockup come on and everything, it started to stand the front end up again, and it made a little move again to the right. Well, in qualifying or testing or whatever, I just didn't want it. If I'd have been racing, I might have been stupid enough to pull it back and went on down the track. I've done that a lot. But I just shut it off yesterday and thought, all right, it'll be another day. Let's come back and try to get this car right, because it's a fast car. It's a good car. And there's a few things that's going on with it that my dumb head is trying to figure out. And it may take me a little longer than some of the other people to figure it out, but I'll get it figured out, and we'll get this thing fast. And hopefully we do good here. But my main thing is kind of like the peak. I want to leave here and have this car on 4 wheels. I want to leave here and have this car ready to go to Indy. And that's my goal here. You know, if I do good, if I can get to the finals or win this race, that's going to be great. But right now, I'm just kind of focusing on trying to figure out exactly what's happening with this car so I can get it fixed.
Well, it did have a little wiggle in Q2 there, as you've explained to everybody. Nothing compared, though, to the wiggle it had when you were running qualifying. Steve, you nearly took the back of Stevie Fast's car with you. It turned that hard. Yeah, and I'm just trying not to. I'm trying not to let that happen here, and you know, it's a bad deal. You know, these cars, and anybody that's drove them a lot know these cars make such a move sometimes. You got to make a split decision within tenths of a second and stuff like that, and sometimes you make that decision, it's wrong. Sometimes you make that decision, it's good. Sometimes these cars are over spinning the tire and they're a little out of control, and you can't quit till you actually try to get it pointed back in the right direction, because if you get over and it's spinning a little bit and it's trying to put you in the wall and you shut it down, you got so much wheel in it, and when you shut it down and put all that weight on the front wheel, it just takes immediate turn the way you got the wheel done. You can't control it. So a lot of people who's never drove these things don't understand what's going on out here. Sometimes you drive these things a little too far, but you feel like you got to try to get it in the position that you can quit. You know, there's been a lot of people, not a lot, but there's been some people come out of funny cars and drove these cars and wrecked them, tore them all to pieces. There's been people come over here and think they can do this and that. Brett, these are some mean cars, and they can look like there's nothing to them, but man, they can be awful mean because they have no downforce on them, and they give you a lot of times no warning of what they're going to do when they do it. They just do it. So you got to try to stay ahead of it if you can, and that's tough to do. Well, mate, you've successfully blown up the internet this morning. Let's say hope you can stay ahead of it today and blow up qualifying even more than you did yesterday. I think you're still sitting at number 2, and you won't be participating in the D-Wagon shootout, but you will be participating in qualifying, getting ready for race day tomorrow. Very best of luck, mate. Thank you so much for your time, your honesty, and your candor again. There's always 7 sides to a story, and I'm glad that we got your side of it today. I'll be interested to follow the internet throughout the day and see what else transpires, I guess, for lack of a better word. But good luck, be safe, and we really, really appreciate you taking the time to contact us and get on and tell us Rickie's side of the story today. Well, I appreciate you letting me come on and tell that, and you know, what I want people, this I keep saying D-Walk because you're just used to D-Walk tools, okay? But the D-Wagon, you know, I got nothing against that guy. I appreciate that guy putting money in 100%, or anybody comes in this class and puts money in. I just wish they'd have sat down and talked about this deal and tried to figure out some way to do it and not change what we have advertised for 2 months. That's all I kind of upset about, is we should have talked about this a little better and got a little better way to how to brought this guy some more exposure. Awesome. All right, mate. Very best of luck today, and we'll be watching to see who goes number 1 today at NHRA. Thanks, mate.
I'm bringing this guy a lot of exposure. I hope he knows that.
All right. Thanks, Rickie. Bye-bye.
Thank you.